There it is, the remarkable foliage of Trachycarpus latisectus. It's a sexy name, isn't it? Also known as the Windamere Palm, because it was actually first discovered by us botanical people, world botanical people, at the Windamere Hotel in India in 1992 on an expedition by the British there. When so it was actually planted by the people from India there. They're like, what's the big deal? This is our palm. We like our palm. And it was actually native to the mountains of India, not too far from there, 5,500 feet to 7,000 foot elevation. Planted here with Chamaedorea radicalis short version. I just made a video about that, so look that one up. I won't bother you with that here, but what a great combination. You've got your feather type short growing palm that's going to fill in underneath. And I can't take credit for this. This is Kyle Klemek's design. Kyle works for us. And if you go to the nursery, you'll likely see Kyle, because I won't be there because I'll be out installing plants and making cool videos, jumping into swimming holes, riding my mountain bike. No, I don't do that. Only if it's really far away and the job takes me to some cool place. But I go out and use the crane, do all the hard work, and just dig all the holes. So you'll meet Kyle. But Kyle will make a really cool little plan for you like this, which is just ingenious, because these guys will stay low and fill in, whereas the Trachycarpus will fill out but also get tall and create a whole secondary layer. You can see we inherited some red banana, which is fine, looks great in there. But the great thing about, there's a lot of great things about this Trachycarpus. One is the foliage. The foliage is so much more tropical looking than a typical Trachycarpus fortunei, against which all Trachycarpus are measured. And you can see, because it's a very thin foliage when compared to the regular Trachycarpus fortunei, it has a very translucent glow to it and a beautiful light play on the back of the foliage when it's lit on the backside. And so that's really nice. Also, it makes a very nice, like, arranged foliage. Doesn't really, the tips don't really droop that much. They maintain fairly erect, not as erect as Trachycarpus to kill, but certainly more erect than Trachycarpus fortunei. And the other thing about this palm, when compared to Trachycarpus fortunei, is the mat of hair on the trunk. It's very neatly oppressed to the tree, just like you would find on Trachycarpus to kill. But what you won't find on Trachycarpus to kill is the fact that these Trachycarpus latisectus are self-cleaning, and they will shed their leaf bases very easily, just like a Guadalupe fan palm or even like a king palm. And eventually you'll get this really beautiful ringed trunk without having to work really hard. Now, all the other Trachycarpus, you're gonna have to work your tail off to accomplish this. But look, I mean, you can't do it all the way up because these are too fresh. But even on the smaller palms, I'll show you after I clean up my mess, because I owe it to my customer to do that. I'll show you on the smaller palm that that's already occurring. On this is a 15 gallon, but even on the 5 gallon little guy, look right here, you've got self-cleaning occurring already. That's the hard trunk right there. So that's one of the wonderful things about this, so that it'll be a really well-behaved plant over time with less maintenance. It'll look prettier and more tropical. It also has more of a glistening effect to the foliage. It has more of a shine. See the shine? See the shine? Shine, shine, shine. And that's pretty much it. They'll probably get to 30 feet tall, you know, in 40, 50 years. And people ask, like, how big palms get, but they're like, well, do you mean at the very end of your lifetime, supposing you live until 100? or like during the time you're likely to use your garden? That's the more accurate answer. So anyway, there you go. Trachycarpus latisectus, the Windamere palm. There you go.